Well, welcome over to theCUBE, our social media news desk, and Matthew here today has been looking at the rising tensions between Greenpeace, the climate activist group, and BP, of course, the petroleum company, over an ongoing protest on a BP drilling rig that was due to go back out to the North Sea to increase the explorations there, but has been unable to because of Greenpeace activists. Now, while police had removed some, they are now back. On Friday, more climbed back onto the rig. Now, BP have tried to take out injunctions against Greenpeace to stop more vessels joining this, but they're very defiant to and fro. We can actually show you some video here of from Greenpeace showing the dinghy carrying their protesters on Friday towards that rig. That is due to go out and explore for more drilling sites for BP out in the North Sea. Something Greenpeace are adamantly against, saying companies must pivot away from fossil fuels and towards renewables. Now, of course, we've seen on social media, it's the battleground, hasn't it, been between people fighting for what they call a climate emergency and obviously established companies here perhaps pushing back in some instances against this call for a radical shift straight away. But it was on social media that people coordinated those climate strikes, which drove so much of the conversation on social over the last 6 months. Well, let's just bring you up what BP have had to say about this. It's worth saying in a statement, the company have laid out their position. They have said here, given Greenpeace repeated interference and reckless actions, BP say, directed at our lawful business and their continuing illegal defiance of court orders and police action, we've issued an injunction. Now, this is the injunction trying to stop Greenpeace boats going out to the oil rig. So with this latest legal action being taken by BP, we here in theCUBE, we wanted to hear from Greenpeace. Is this game over for their demonstrations? I spoke to John Sauvon from Greenpeace earlier on. This is what he said to me.
Everybody now knows that climate change is a big issue. You're beginning to see that in terms of the politics in Europe beginning to change. You know, with things like the Green Party in Germany now being the biggest party. You're seeing the millions of school kids coming out on marches around the world. You know, you're beginning to see lots of people now joining forces calling for change. And I think that this is just part of that movement. It's part of the pressure that is building on these companies. And eventually they will be forced to change. This week, next month, who knows? But eventually they will be forced to change.
And we'll stay across all the latest developments there. BP not backing down, and neither are Greenpeace.